Hello again, students. We're doing lesson 3 today in Unit C, Pathogen Growth and Disease Transmission. How do germs grow and how do they get transmitted? So the first thing we're going to do is investigate and describe the conditions necessary for the growth of viruses and bacteria. What I'll focus on. We got to know the difference between a communicable and non-communicable disease. We're going to describe how different communicable diseases are transmitted, and then how non-communicable are transmitted. Okay, so let's talk pathogen growth. What the heck's a pathogen? Remember, that means a germ, like a bacteria or a virus. So first of all, let's look at bacteria. There's 4 conditions they need to grow. First of all, it has to be the right temperature. Between those temperatures, bacteria grow. They say that body temperature is perfect for bacteria growth. Okay? Oxygen. Some bacteria require oxygen to live and breed. They're called aerobic. Some are anaerobic and they don't. They like moisture. They multiply in high moisture conditions. And they like a certain pH range, 6.6 to 7.5. Okay, next. Okay, viruses are a little different. Viruses, remember, they can't reproduce on their own, which probably makes them angry and nasty. And that's why they need a living host to survive. So they have to invade a bacteria or a cell in a plant or an animal. They invade the cell, they take over, and that's how they grow. Then they tell the cell, don't make more of what you want to make more of me. Okay? So yeah, they can't do their thing without a living host. They can live outside of the body for a short time. Now that depends on the type of surface. Okay? Also, it depends on the temperature. So here's an example. The cold virus can live on hard inside surfaces for about 7 days. So if you cough on your table at home and the droplets land on your table, they could be active still after 7 days. So your brother or sister or somebody comes along and touches it on day 6 and then touches their face, like maybe their nose or their mouth. Yeah, that virus can get there. Flu viruses can live on a hard surface for about 24 hours, but notice this, only 15 minutes on a soft surface like a tissue. Okay? So that's why we wipe down counters, because they're hard surfaces and viruses last longer. If we wipe them down, we can kill them. Okay, they're telling us right now that coronavirus can live up to 3 days on some hard surfaces like plastic, stainless steel. Okay, so a communicable disease just means a disease that can be spread from one individual to another. So the cold, the flu, COVID-19, Ebola. So you sneeze, the guy next to you can get it. Non-communicable is diseases that are not spread person to person. So like heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's, diabetes. So maybe you have somebody you know that has heart disease. If that person is sitting beside you and they sneeze, you don't get heart disease just because you breathed in their sneeze. You might catch their cold, which is communicable, but you don't catch their heart disease, right? That's a good thing. Okay, so let's talk about how these things spread. Let's talk about how these things spread. So how does flu spread? This is according to the CDC, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention in the United States. So first of all, the flu is caused by a virus, and the virus is called the influenza virus. So the virus makes us sick. When we get sick, we call it the flu. It's believed to be spread mostly by droplets when people cough, sneeze, or talk. Okay? Those droplets land in the mouths and noses, or possibly are inhaled into the lungs of people who are nearby. Also, like maybe you sneeze, or maybe somebody sneezes into their hand, then you shake hands, and then the virus gets from that hand to the other person's hand, and then that person's hand touches that person's face. Okay? And then you've now got that virus on your face, and it gets into your mouth or your nose or your eyes. Less often, the flu may spread by touching a surface that has a virus than by touching the mouth, nose, or eyes. So remember, flu can live about 24 hours on a surface. It's less common to catch the flu, they think, from a surface as opposed to a droplet that's in the air. Now, people with the flu are most contagious in the first 3 to 4 days. Okay? But symptoms can begin 1 to 4 days after. So, in other words, you may be able to pass the flu to someone before you know you're sick. You might have it, don't know you're sick, and you're spreading it around, which is what they're worried about with coronavirus, right? Okay, let's talk common cold. It's spread the same way as the flu, droplets. The virus, well, there's many viruses that cause the common cold. The most common is rhinovirus. And then you know what the symptoms are. You get a sore throat, a runny nose, coughing, sneezing, headaches. Sometimes you get body aches. And most people recover in 7 to 10 days. So what's the difference between the cold and the flu? Well, sometimes it's very hard to tell. Flu is basically more intense. Okay, let's take a look at this. Is it a cold or is it the flu? So if you have a fever, it's rare to actually get a fever with a cold. It's pretty common with the flu. Do you get aches? I got kind of achy. You know, your head's kind of achy. I had the flu, I think, a couple years ago. My whole body ached. I was in bed with chills. I was shaking. I hurt. I was sore. Chills are not common with the cold. They're pretty common with the flu. You can go to, like, I've worked with the cold, and I didn't really feel terribly tired. You feel a lot more tired, okay? So non-communicable diseases, according to the World Health Organization, are modifiable. We can change our behavior and decrease the risk. So, for example, tobacco is responsible for 7.2 million deaths every year. Well, we can stop smoking, and we can improve that. Like, people around the world, if they were to decrease smoking, stop smoking, more people would live. If people were more conscious about their salt intake, more people would live. If we were more conscious about alcohol use, less people would be getting cancer. And just being physically active, playing sports, running, going for a walk, would decrease the number of people that die from diseases related to a lack of physical activity. Okay, now, haven't really answered the big question though. How are non-communicable diseases spread? Remember, if you have cancer, you don't sneeze and give cancer to the next person. So how come people are getting cancer? Well, look at this. Back in the 50s and 60s, look at this. More doctors smoke Camel cigarettes than any other cigarette. Like, looking cool, hey? Here's another doctor. Smoke a fresh cigarette, a Camel. So this guy's name is Roger Maris. He played for the New York Yankees. I think he hit 61 home runs one year. Anyway, handsome man. Hey, look at that. Have a real cigarette. Have a Camel. So, I'm kind of leading to something here. Now look at the advertising on this one now. Look at our advertising today. If you smoke, your child smokes. So take your smoke outside. So we don't want to give the poor little babies lung disease. Here's an ad. Smoking gives you gives you dental problems. Okay, smoking causes dental problems. Okay, so I'm not kind of answering the question directly here on purpose, because that's going to be the assignment. I want you to think about if somebody has lung cancer, they don't sneeze and give lung cancer, but if lung cancer is spreading around the world, what's causing that? Why is that happening? Okay. All right. So thanks for listening, and go do the assignment. We'll see you next time.